Hi, so I guess I'm live. I am making this video about the time when I was handicapped. I put it in quotation marks because I think everyone's definition of being handicapped may vary, and some people maybe just consider a handicap that is permanent. I don't know how long this video should be, but I want it to be entertaining, even though it's not an entertaining topic, but it's just not boring. Um, So in 2017, I kind of made another video about this. In 2017, it was a Saturday. I was taking a shower in the morning. Usually I go to the gym on Saturday morning, but I had to go somewhere, so I was taking a shower. I have long hair, so it was taking a while to take the conditioner out of my hair. And I was like, wow, I'm getting really tired just standing in the shower. So I hurry up, wash it out. I get out of the shower. My knee kind of hurts. I start putting oils on it and doing stuff. But I've been kind of a runner in my life, and I've always kind of done exercise and gone to the gym. So I thought maybe it was the squat machine and I hurt myself or something. I was just like, didn't take it that seriously. So I go to the event and I'm kind of limping, and I'm like, this is kind of annoying. I'm limping. And it was in this theater because it was like people giving speeches on like important topics. And like this lady was gonna go in front of me, and I was like, oh my God, I hope she doesn't touch my knee because I'm so scared that she's gonna hurt me. So I just remember that, like it was very tender. And then I went to the grocery store after the event, and I'm like trying to go through the supermarket, and I'm having to use the cart as like a walker. So I get my groceries, I go home, and I'm on the second floor of an apartment building. And I'm sitting on the stairs and I'm calling my mom, and I'm like, I can't walk properly. I don't know. It's just not going away. And she just tells me to meditate, which is funny because later, one of the doctors who is like kind of famous on YouTube, I found him on YouTube and he has lots of views. He actually said that the important thing is to meditate and like heal your nervous system. Basically, I don't know if that was before. Basically, your nervous system is like your spine and your spinal position and the alignment. And this nervous system is formed in the womb, and like very traumatic pregnancies. And trauma can come in different forms, but we all know that like if you do drugs, God forbid, or anything like that, it has a huge impact on that little person, that child, that being. And it can be different kinds of stress, right, that inform how the nervous system is, I guess, created. So it happens in the womb. So you can have problems with your spine at any time in your life. You can have like a car accident or whatnot. But what heals the nervous system is meditation and yoga. And so that was really interesting. But in the beginning, I was like, what is that? I'm going to meditate because my leg hurts. It just sounded so dumb to me. But later, when it lasted so long and the pain got so out of control, I was meditating, I was praying, I was doing whatever I had to do because I was in like so much pain and I was so sad. So my leg is hurting. I'm not sure at this point if I was sitting on the stairs to get up. Like I would just put my bum on each stair, and that's how I would get up and down the stairs. So I go back to my apartment. That's Saturday. The next Sunday, I was like, okay, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm just going to relax so I can go to work on Monday. So I do different things throughout the day. And at the end of the day on Sunday, what I did was I decided to ice my leg because I heard that was good. I was watching a lot of videos. And then after I did that, my leg hurt really bad and I felt really terrible. And I was like, okay, time to go to bed. So I go to bed. But the next day I wake up and I feel horrible. My like blood sugar drops, that feeling when you really need to eat and you don't feel good. And I really needed to go to the bathroom, but my leg was really hurting. And I was like, okay, I'm definitely not going to work today because I can barely get out of this bed. And like, I couldn't move my leg. I remember thinking, oh my God, I can't move my leg. Like, I don't know how to get out of this bed. I usually get out of the bed on the left side because, and it was like really heavy. It was really weird because that's where the bathroom is. But I had to get on the right side because there's a wall there that I could kind of like lean against. And I remember like hopping on my right leg, and every time I hopped, it was like pain, 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 like just from the shaking. And I get to the bathroom somehow. I mean, that's what I remember when I couldn't walk. Every morning I would wake up and I'd be like, how am I going to get to the bathroom today? And to be honest, I don't know if she's ever going to watch this, but someone I know I was like, when I referred to that time when I couldn't walk, she was like, "Oh, when you had trouble walking?" Like, no, literally, sometimes I couldn't walk. I couldn't even move my legs, you know? And I'll explain more later, but when she kind of like said that, it actually made me angry and kind of hurt my feelings. Like, I would exaggerate something that was just so horrible and atrocious and had so many symptoms. Um, if you're wondering, which you might be, in the end, from everyone I talked to, lots of people, doctors, whatever, it might have actually been a brown spider bite, because a lot of people I talked to and I share them all my symptoms. They're like, yeah, my sister had that. She was bit by a brown spider. My brother had that, whoever. And there were so many spiders in my apartment, like so many. So anyway, I'm trying to get out of bed that morning. I go to the bathroom and then I call my mom and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. I'm like, I can't walk. And she was like, you need to relax, or whatever she said. She was like, don't yell. And I did panic. Like, what I learned from that experience is no matter how crappy the situation is, find your wusa. Don't panic. Stay calm, even in crappy, horrible, like unbelievable situations. I mean, I never heard of someone waking up not being able to walk. I'm like, what is this even happening right now to me? So I called my boss. I was like, I can't come because I can't move my leg. And I called a bunch of doctors. One of them was a holistic doctor. I ended up seeing her. It was kind of expensive hourly, so I went like once. And she was like really nice to me on the phone, which was helpful. Another doctor who I went into once a few weeks prior, because I had a sore throat, he was like, come in, we'll see if you need surgery. And that's what he recommended. I was like, just give me a cortisone shot. I need to get back to work, because it was toward the end of the year and I'm a teacher and I just like, stuff to do, finals. And he's like, go get the x-ray, then I'll think about a cortisone shot for you. And cortisone shots are actually really unhealthy. And I know because I read books about it. Like, if you read Pain Free by Pete Egoscue, it's an excellent book. And Pete Egoscue, he became so famous, just I guess just through his book or whatever, that people read his book, became so passionate about what he does, that they started becoming Egoscue practitioners. There's actually Egoscue practices, I think, throughout the nation, but I know definitely in some places on the West Coast. So, and I ended up going to one at one point, or two or so. So I couldn't walk. I couldn't go to work that day. I saw the doctor. He said I needed surgery. I mean, after just looking at it, because my leg was like this big. It was like huge. It was huge. And like sometimes both legs were swollen, because I sent a picture to my friend's dad, to my friend, and he sent it to his dad because they were like really swollen. And I also went at one point to the x-ray technician. He's like, I've never seen such swollen legs. When I checked the x-ray, there's no impact, because there was no impact. I just woke up like that. So it was really odd. One thing I remember was like my sedimentation rate or something was very high from some of the blood work. So that's how it started. And it lasted for about like 8 months, like the whole kit and caboodle. And I had the weirdest symptoms, from like something similar to like restless leg syndrome. Like my legs at night, I couldn't stop moving them or something. It was so weird. I'm like, what is going on? I couldn't sleep for the life of me. I was always in pain. Like, at this point, I guess it may have been close to level 10 pain. Probably not, because I'm sure there's all kinds of pain. But I remember screaming at the top of my lungs, because my shoulders would hurt, my hands. I really couldn't type that much. I couldn't use my phone. When I tried to write, like I would get shooting pain, so I couldn't write. I couldn't sit for long periods of time. I couldn't stand for long periods of time. I couldn't walk. Like, it was just so horrible. I'm like, what is going on? Why am I in so much pain? I went through a lot of chiropractors. I went to just so many like natural doctors and acupuncturists who did a lot of weird and painful things to me. My friend, even who went with me, he's like, I'll never forget those screams. He was, I don't know, the acupuncturist really hurt me. But anyway, I went to this other doctor. He was like a specialist, and he was hurting me. They're doing all kinds of weird stuff. So it started in May, toward the end of the school year, right? And then I thought like for sure by, I don't know, when July 4th came out around and it was still a problem. Because I remember going to my friend's house, I was like, this is not cool. This has been a really long time. I'm like, and some of my friends were like, well, some of my students joked. They're like, when's the amputation? It was actually, it's not that funny, but it was kind of, they were just trying to be funny. So one of my friends was like, I've heard something similar, and the person got amputated, and she's like, I'm not trying to scare you. So anyway, I remember the day I went on July 4th to my friend's house. I was also using my essential oils. I don't know, and happened to be doTERRA. I just remember on that day I was feeling a little better, and I was like, what did I do differently? And I happened to use my essential oils. It's this thing called like I Am Fabulous. And I don't know if essential oils has an effect on your nervous system, but apparently it's really good for your system, for your mind, for your hormones, all that. So there is that. So I went there, then I came home early from the 4th of July because I was just sleepy and tired. And I was eating at my friend's house, just different things. And the food was really good, and I'll mention why later. Then I come home, and then I'm just trying to get better. And school starts again in August. So I'm like, I have to be better, because if not, I don't think the school's going to be really happy about like the situation and trying to keep my job, you know? Because leaving when I was like during the finals time was not good, it's not a good thing. But so it's the summer, I'm trying to get better, I'm contacting doctors, doing different things. And then, so the essential oils. So I called the essential oil people. I was like, maybe they can help me. And they're usually like 45 minutes away from me, but that day they happened to be like 20 minutes away at this farmer's market. I was like, okay, perfect. So I go over there, and there's happens to be a holistic doctor with them that day. And she's like, and they felt so sorry for me, because I was like, okay, I never was going far distances. When I had to go short distances, I was using crutches. And people think, oh, if you can use crutches, that's cool. You can walk. No, it's not cool. Using crutches all the time is not cool. And sometimes even with the crutches, I couldn't walk. I remember one time I started crying because I had so much pain everywhere. I couldn't even use the crutches. And someone brought me, it was at the grocery store, and someone brought me those little wheelchairs, those little chairs at the grocery store. And they're like, what's wrong? I was like, I don't know. I'm just so much pain. And they're like, oh, it's probably fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue syndrome / fibromyalgia. My sister says they call it that when they don't know what it is or whatever. But anyway, this one girl said she had it, and she'd have her things come back and forth or whatever, have her flare-ups. But I remember just crying, and I couldn't even use the crutches. I couldn't use anything. But if I was actually going somewhere for, like, say one day I had to go to the mall for something, some things you can only get at the mall, I had to use the little chair. There's no way I can crutch around all day. I mean, like, no, way too tired and just don't have that kind of stamina or capacity. So when I had to go somewhere for long periods of time, I would either rent a wheelchair, or sometimes the mall or the grocery store has a little chair for you. So there's that. So the this is kind of the crux. The holistic lady at the beach, because that was where the farmer market was, she said you need to have 7 cups of vegetables a day. So that's when I started having 7 cups of vegetables a day. Somewhere, I can look at my notes for the date, but somewhere in July. And so I started having 7 cups of vegetables a day. How was I cooking? When you're in a bad situation, you realize how capable you are. I was cooking. I was sitting on a little chair, and I would put food in there, and I was also juicing, organic juicing, eating vegetables, and doing 7 cups a day. And actually, a lot of people got inspired. They're like, I'm going to start eating vegetables. And even my friends were like, your skin is getting clearer. Your eyes are looking clearer. Like, seriously, my eyes started looking different. My eyeballs, they started looking like clearer. It was really weird. My skin got clearer. My waist was getting super tiny. It was just from the vegetables. And I wasn't like starving myself. I would have like a whole head of, like a whole bunch of asparagus, organic asparagus in the morning, with the Kerrygold butter and iodized sea salt. I forgot the brand. I got it from Sprouts. And then for lunch, I would have a whole head of cauliflower. Even the cauliflower and like Brussels sprouts are supposedly goitrogen vegetables, which means they can affect your hormones, but I was doing the best I could. So having the organic cauliflower, which is delicious, I put butter because I felt like I need some fats and a little bit of salt. So that's what I was doing. I don't know if you should do that, but that's what I was doing. And then for dinner, and sometimes I would fill 2 pans full of vegetables, so it would be enough food. And for dinner, like a bunch of, it looks like a cucumber, but it's not, zucchini. But my favorite was the green beans. That was my favorite tasting. Like, I love green beans the way I cooked them. Asparagus, I felt, was the most powerful. Like, I remember one day I was out with my friend, and I was like, we're out somewhere because, well, I was trying to make money in my situation. I got my wheelchair, And my friend has a business, and we're trying to do some knocking for her business. And that's why I had a wheelchair. And then we went to go eat. And I was like, I'm scared to eat because I knew eating, and I'll explain that later, had an effect on my situation. And she we're eating tacos, and after that I felt really horrible. So I think that night or the next day I was feeling really horrible, and then I started having organic asparagus, and I like a whole thing of organic asparagus. I don't even think I put any butter or anything. I was just eating it like that after cooking it a little bit, and the pain literally left my knee. Like it was like really throbbing, and it reduced it like as I was eating it because I had a lot. So I guess food really is medicine. At some point, I should actually put a timeline of when I went to the organic, the essential oil lady. There's this program, like a leadership program, a transformation program that I was going to. It was started in a Saturday in July, I believe. I woke up that Saturday and I was like, I'm not gonna go to transformation. I can barely sit in my bed, let alone a chair for so many hours. But something woke me up that morning. It was like, you're going. And it actually was really helpful because they really, especially one person in that program, really helped me get through what was a really like impossible time. And it was after the transformation day, it was like around that time that I went to the essential oil lady. The reason I'm mentioning this, like, is that, mind you, it's 2020. It happened 2017. Is okay. So when you're going to the transformation thing, you like from 9 to 12, like, or 9 to 1, you just sit there and listen. And I don't think I'd eaten that day yet. So I think essential oils was after. So I hadn't eaten that day yet. And so I hadn't eaten. And but 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, I ate, right? Because that was our break. And after I ate, I start screaming, like having these twitches, like just lots of pain. And people are like, "Are you having having a seizure?" I'm like, "No, I'm just in a lot of pain right now." And I realized it was what I was eating that was affecting the nerves, and like causing pain, not just in my leg, but here it was all over. It was crazy. People said it was like nerve pain, right? And like inflammation in the body and toxicity or whatever. So I realized, oh, I have to really be careful about what I eat. Oh yeah, I remember telling the essential oil lady that, or the holistic doctor, and she said because it's a certain coffee shop that people know about, and she said sometimes they bring the food from a little bit far away. I don't know exactly. There might have been preservatives in the food. She said that would have caused pain for you. I think she said like MSGs, preservatives, those kind of things are really not good when you're not well, and you'll feel it right away. So I go on her little diet of 7 cups of vegetables a day. I told the lady in the transformation program, 7 pounds of vegetables. She's like, that's a lot. She was a nurse. I was like, oh no, 7 cups. So I was doing that. I started feeling better. My friends were like, oh my God, you're losing weight. Not that that matters. I was like, but they were just like, you look so good. Your eyes, your skin, everything's getting so bright. Your hair, like it was wild after just a few days. They're like, you're standing up straighter. You're walking better. Like you look better. So I tell everyone about that. And I was having a lot of distilled water too. So that's good. And then started getting better. Then I heard about bone broth. So I started getting like a chicken. An organic chicken is about $20, so it's not cheap. But I wanted to walk again. I don't want to have these problems. I don't want to be in pain. So I'd put that in the crock pot, cook that, drink the broth and whatever, have chicken. After the vegetables thing. For a while it was just vegetables, but then obviously at some point you gotta eat. Or do you? So that happened. And then the school year started, and I was still kind of with my crutches, and I was still in pain. And but I was getting slowly better, and then time kept going on. And I kept just trying to take care of myself, getting off the sugar, gluten, dairy. And but the thing was that even one of my doctors cost $4,000, just like one. And then one of the doctors is $250 a session, or sometimes more. This much money for that much money for that. Organic vegetables, get this thing. Like I got all these little gadgets for my back because I was in so much pain, and I never buy that gimmicky stuff, but I was like in pain, So I went into a lot of debt. Like I was like, because at the time I was like, I need to spend money because a lifelong handicap is more expensive than what I'm spending now. Like I don't want to be handicapped for life. And if you are, I am sorry, and if I can do anything to help you, I would like to. I don't know if that I can, but that's actually kind of part of transformation thing. It was actually Kyle Cease, and I was sitting in the handicap section in the theater, and I was sitting by people who were handicapped, and this lady, she was maybe 50 years old, and she was having a cupcake or a muffin. I was like, why are you eating that? That's like not good for you. Like, you need to get better, you know? And she's like, well, I don't even have money. She's like, I don't even have the money to eat well if I wanted to. And that's a whole question itself, whether it's expensive to eat healthy, blah, blah, blah. But I just thought like it would be cool if we could create a nonprofit to where there's funds for people who have cancer, become handicapped, whatever the case may be, their health falls, so they can have access to organic vegetables, you know, whether or not you believe in it. I mean, I experienced it, so I don't know. They have access to high quality food and therapies, saunas, whatever. I started doing the sauna, and people said like, "Oh, I feel like that's helping you too," because I guess it's removing toxins or whatever. So a lot of people, were giving me different tips. I take vitamin C, different things. So to make alternative therapies, healthy food, and healing things available to people who get sick, so that they can get better. And and so they don't have to fall so deeply in debt. So I mean, it was really hard for me to just do basic things. I don't even know how I did some of the stuff that I did, because I don't even do it when I'm okay, like the juicing and the bone broth. I'm like, I was desperate though. So I was doing all these things to try to get better, and literally, like, how did I get the crock pot to my house? I had to order it to my house. So like a lot of this stuff was me like just dragging it on the floor. It was difficult. So I'm doing all these things. I'm starting to get better. And I was going to make a point. I don't know what that point was, but if you have any questions, let me know. But so doing bone broth, doing all these things and trying to get better. And it was really expensive. And now I'm like kind of in a lot of debt. And I'm like, am I now going to go bankrupt? So I did start a GoFundMe. So if you're interested in contributing, that would be awesome. It's funny, anytime I tell the vegetable store, people are like, what vegetables? And they want to take notes. But I think what I said is basically what I did. I just got vegetables, put them in 1 or 2 pans just so I can have enough like amount of food, because vegetables aren't that like hard, like filling necessarily. In a way they are, because they're so nutritious, but like I just kind of needed a lot to have enough calories. So already 22 minutes. So if you have more questions, I can make another video. But I think that's all for now. And I just kept eating healthy, and then I got better at some point, which was awesome. And that's all for now.